Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the franchise discussion category. This video will be dedicated to the recap and thoughts for issue 23 of the Young Justice tie-in comics, Players Chapter 4. We begin this issue at Gotham City on December 1st during the time frame of Season 1, where Barbara Gordon and Artemis beat Robin and Bet Kane at a game of foosball at Wayne Manor during Robin's birthday party. Soon enough, Bruce Wayne and Alfred enter the room where all the party guests are, and Alfred has made pizza for all the party guests. Robin admits that he's surprised that Bruce isn't at Karak right now, but Bruce responds that he has no intention of ever missing Robin's birthday, and he adds that the situation in Karak is already covered. Then the next scene actually takes us to Karak, more specifically Karak's capital city, where Superboy and Miss Martian, still undercover of course, run into Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen again. Using her telepathy, Miss Martian telepathically talks to Clark Kent and reveals that she knows Clark Kent is Superman. She explains that Superboy actually doesn't see his own face very often because Superboy doesn't keep any mirrors in his room back at Mount Justice. Miss Martian, on the other hand, is very familiar with Superboy's face, so she recognizes the similarity between Superboy's face and Superman's face and Clark Kent's face, because Clark Kent is Superman, of course. She assures Clark Kent that she hasn't told Superboy about Clark Kent and Superman being one and the same, but she also says she doesn't like to lie to Superboy. Clark Kent responds that he wants to get to know Superboy as a person, not as Superman's clone. But the telepathic conversation is interrupted when Superboy verbally tells Miss Martian that Karak's president, Ruman Harjafti, his daughter Nuj, and his brother Suman have all arrived on stage. That the stage that the audience are standing in front of. And Superboy and Miss Martian try to keep their eyes peeled to make sure that Queen Bee hasn't sent anyone to eliminate Karak's president. But we, the readers, see Deadshot standing on a roof, and he's taking aim at Karak's president. We then jump ahead in time 5 years, and we're on the Watchtower, where Red Tornado informs Batman, Aquaman, Green Arrow, and Black Canary of the current crisis. Or to be more specific, he recaps to those 4 Justice League members that Miss Martian and Lagoon Boy are chasing after the spacecraft that was on the moon, and they believe that this spacecraft is where Superboy, Superman, Wonder Woman, Captain Atom, and Captain Marvel, as well as other individuals, are being held, and their guess is accurate. Batgirl and Plastic Man are staying within viewing distance of one another around the border of the force field that's around Metropolis. Batgirl is inside the force field, while Plastic Man is outside of the force field. Beast Boy and Bumblebee are staying with Miss Harjafti at Bibbo's Diner to make sure none of Queen Bee's minions try to take Miss Harjafti's life. Black Lightning and Jim Harper have gone to the spot where the probe that landed in Metropolis before the force field was activated, because they accurately suspect that this probe is the cause of the force field around Metropolis. And lastly, Martian Manhunter and Flash with Nightwing, Wonder Girl, Blue Beetle, Zatanna, and Sphere in Super Cycle mode are following behind Martian Manhunter and Flash, but those characters are within a magic force field that Zatanna has created so that no one can see or hear the individuals within this magic force field. Because Martian Manhunter and Flash are planning to confront Brainiac, aka the Collector of Worlds. So that's the recap. And we actually do go to Gotham City, where we see Batman and Tim Drake, the current Robin, are in what is presumed to be the lair of Two-Face. It's a room that's split between two different themes. And Tim Drake questions Batman if they should go to Metropolis to help out. But Batman responds that the characters that are already at Metropolis can do anything that they could do if they were to go to Metropolis. So he thinks that there's no point in going to Metropolis because they won't be able to do anything different that the characters already there can't already do. So back at Metropolis, Batgirl and Plastic Man use visual messages to keep tabs on the progress of how things are going. But soon enough, the two of them see Match emerging from underground within the force field. We then head to Killstar's spacecraft, where the 4 Justice League members and Superboy try to reason with Killstar to let them escape. And Orb 1 is translating Killstar's words and translating the hero's words to Killstar. According to Orb 1's translation, Killstar only views the heroes as weapons, not sentient beings, thinking that they're highly intelligently programmed weapons. That's what Killstar views the heroes as, rather than sentient beings. And they still try to reason with Killstar, but Killstar refuses to listen to them. So the heroes break a hole in the floor to escape the crystal prison that they're in, but that ends up not doing them any good because Killstar transports them right in front of him. And according to Orb 1's translation, Killstar says that he will reprogram them because he believes their programming to be faulty, and he claims to be doing this out of kindness. What is Killstar's idea of reprogramming them? Attacking them. So a big fight emerges between the 5 heroes and Killstar. Back in Metropolis, Martian Manhunter and Flash realize that there's no force field around Brainiac's spacecraft. They figure that the force field has to be down in order for the spacecraft to launch the laser beam that's being aimed at the force field around Metropolis. So Martian Manhunter phases through the spacecraft, and Flash uses his super speed to vibrate through the spacecraft so that they're both inside now. Brainiac arrives, but he calls them unwelcomed guests and he wants them to leave. But he does answer their question when they question who he is. And he gives many names, settling on the Collector of Worlds. Like I said before, he's not actually called Brainiac in universe, but it's been confirmed out of universe that he is Brainiac. Brainiac is already aware of the fact that Martian Manhunter and Flash wanted to talk to him about the force field around Metropolis, but he says there's no point because they're not going to change his mind. And he adds that they should be thankful that he plans to preserve one of the cities of their doomed planet. Martian Manhunter is about to question Brainiac what he means by Earth being doomed, but Flash charges Brainiac in the hopes of using fighting tactics to get him to change his mind. But Brainiac is able to overpower them. Brainiac can think faster than Flash can run, and Martian Manhunter's telekinesis doesn't do any good either because Brainiac's is made of a very durable material, and even distractions don't work because we find out that Atom actually shrunk in size to sneak on board with Martian Manhunter and Flash, but Brainiac already figured out where Atom was. Next up, we head to space, where Miss Martian and Lagoon Boy are continuing to chase after Killstar's spacecraft. Lagoon Boy takes a moment to vent about how he always dreamed of going to the surface, but things haven't really gone well for him because he still has to hide from the public because he doesn't resemble a surface-dwelling human. And Miss Martian understands Lagoon Boy's feelings because she said that she came to Earth in the hopes she dreamed of coming to Earth because of the discrimination she felt on Mars as a white Martian. And Lagoon Boy admits he never actually saw Miss Martian's true white Martian form before, so Miss Martian reveals that form to Lagoon Boy. But Lagoon Boy isn't terrified by the form. He considers his own appearance more terrifying in comparison. So Miss Martian takes on a female version of Lagoon Boy's form, and the two are about to share a kiss, but then a proximity alert goes off. Back on Killstar's vessel, we see that Killstar has a severe advantage over the heroes. Or that's right, the heroes are at a great disadvantage against Killstar. He's easily able to take on all 5 of the heroes at once without really breaking a sweat, and that complicates matters even further. Back in Metropolis, Black Lightning and Jim Harper have investigated the hole where the probe landed in Metropolis, and they figure out that the probe landed at the exact center of the force field around Metropolis. So they contact Bumblebee and Beast Boy for help because although they could find the probe, they couldn't move it or cause any short circuiting. They couldn't do anything to affect the probe. So they need help to attack it from the inside out, as they put it, their words. But Beast Boy is hesitant to leave Bibbo's diner because he's worried about Miss Harjofty's well-being. Bumblebee assures Beast Boy that she understands his concern, but mentions that it's very clear that this force field has nothing to do with Miss Harjofty, and also assures Beast Boy that only Bibbo and Miss Harjofty's bodyguard know her location besides them. Beast Boy says he understands, recognizing they need to think of the big picture, but he still voices hope that they don't regret this decision. So Beast Boy takes on the form of a bird, and he flies off with Bumblebee to help Black Lightning and Jim Harper. And on the spacecraft of Brainiac shows that he has a clear advantage over Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Atom. And then he opens up a hatch in order to throw the 3 Justice League members off of his spacecraft. But Nightwing, Wonder Girl, Blue Beetle, Zatanna, and Sphere in Super Cycle mode are able to sneak onto the spacecraft through the hatch without Brainiac seeing them because of the magic force field that Zatanna has created. And yes, we end the issue with those heroes successfully entering Brainiac's spacecraft, but Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Atom are falling towards the force field around Metropolis. And like I said, that's how we end the issue. So there we go. That was part 4 of this 6-part story. And we do get to see, we actually do get to see for the season 1 time frame scenes, we actually get to see both the scenes revolving around Robin's birthday party and the scenes involving Karak. And the nice thing about these scenes was we got to see some more heartwarming moments with Bruce Wayne or Batman, because Batman said he had no intentions of ever missing Robin's birthday party, and that's really nice. It shows Batman's bond with Robin as mentor and apprentice, and it gives more evidence of how fans like to refer to this version of Batman as Bat Dad. And I have to admit, now I'm curious to know what Alfred's pizza tastes like, because he said he made some pizza for all the party guests. Now I'm curious about what that pizza tastes like. Now, as for the Karak scenes, the nice thing here is it actually addressed something that I felt wasn't executed very well in season 1 of the TV series, even though I consider the TV series overall to be a very strong TV series. More specifically, I felt that this issue of the tie-in comics actually managed to portray Superman in a much more sympathetic light. Like I said, I understand what they were trying to go with regarding Superman's uneasiness around Superboy during season 1, but I felt the execution made Superman come off as much more unsympathetic than they intended. But this issue, I think, helped to portray Superman in a much better light than season 1 did. Now, to be fair, in season 1, Superman wasn't necessarily unkind to Superboy, or he wasn't intentionally trying to be a jerk to Superboy, but yeah, he did come off as too distant for his own good. Even if I could understand his actions, I didn't agree with how he handled it. So hearing that Superman wanted to get to know Superboy as a person and not as Superman's clone, I think that did a good job of helping to portray Superman in a much better light. So that's what I appreciated about this tie-in comics issue. It actually addressed one of my grievances, or I guess what I felt was a flaw with season 1 of the TV series. Otherwise, for the time frame that's covered a month just before season 2 starts, we did get to see some nice... They were able to cover a lot of important details, I felt. Like, they were able to coordinate everyone was all on the same page, the heroes. They were trying to coordinate and keep everything on the same page, which I, of course, am a fan of, because I'm a big fan of good communication, because it helps everyone out. And it also helps to set things up for what's to come in the next 2 parts, because, well, some of the heroes managed to figure out where the probe is that caused the force field, although Beast Boy is worried about Miss Harjofti's well-being, so that helps to add some suspense of what's going to happen in the next 2 parts. But there's also suspense with Batgirl and Plastic Man seeing Match emerge from underground, and he's in the force field. So Batgirl is going to have to confront Match, and Plastic Man, like I said, Plastic Man's outside of the force field, so yeah, he's not going to be able to help Batgirl out with fighting Match. So we have some suspense with what the heroes are going to do with Match running loose during all of this, during this commotion. And then finally, some of the heroes did manage to sneak onto Brainiac's spacecraft, although some of the heroes are in danger of falling into the force field, or falling onto the force field around Metropolis, because Brainiac was actually able to defeat those 3 heroes pretty easily. And I think that was actually a pretty effective way to show Brainiac maybe, well, he's more about intellect rather than physical combat, but he's still a dangerous threat. So I think they did a good job of highlighting that. Otherwise, I think that's about it for now. I think we've covered the essentials. This is setting up things to come in the next 2 parts. So we'll talk more about the story in the next two videos for recap and thoughts of this 6-part story. But for now, there we go. As of this video, we've now discussed issue 23 of the Young Justice tie-in comics on this channel. Take care, and until next time.